The season began, I don't think a lot of people expected both Illinois and Nebraska to be 3-0 coming into this week, but yet here we are. These are two teams that surprised us to various degrees, and that's really exciting for not only the Big Ten, but both of these programs. And that's what's going to make this game really exciting. Two teams that have high expectations now coming into this game, and it's going to be fun to see what these offenses and defenses can do against each other. Illinois is 3-0, averaging nearly 33 points per game. They have been probably more surprising than Nebraska has. I think Nebraska had some expectations of being undefeated at this point. The schedule definitely lines up for them to be that way, but Illinois was definitely the surprise. They found a way to win 3 games so far, and they are looking to pull off an even bigger upset against Nebraska. Now, Nebraska is averaging 34 points per game. There's obviously a big reason for that, and Matt Rule deserves a lot of credit for what he has done. And there's a reason why Nebraska is favored by 9.5 points, is because the talent level feels like it's a little bit higher for the Cornhuskers than it is for Illinois. That being said, Illinois has plenty of talent that can make life very difficult for the Cornhuskers. And the question for Illinois is going to be, are the Illini legit? There's going to be that question until they beat a legitimate team. And it's going to be interesting to see if they can find a way to stun Nebraska. Nebraska is a team that has been really fun to watch so far, but at the same time, they're not without flaws either. So keep an eye on that. The Illini have plenty of things going well for them. And I think that they are going to be really fun to watch in this game because Brett Bielema has done a great job of getting his team to play at a high level, even through some of the coaching changes, even some of the personnel changes. They bring in a player like Zachary Franklin, who's already paying dividends for them as well. And the question is going to be, what can Franklin do against a guy like Tommy Hill? Tommy Hill has been really fun to watch so far. He had a good matchup against Travis Hunter that went really well. And now he gets another one in Zachary Franklin. And Franklin has been an absolute stud for Illinois. He has been really fun to watch. He has been someone that has made life very easy for Luke Altmaier. And that's going to be fun to see how he matches up against Nebraska. For the Huskers, can you force turnovers? Right now, Luke Altmaier has not thrown an interception, and it feels like Illinois does a pretty good job of taking care of the football. Turnovers are going to be a big key for this team. They did that against Colorado, and they're looking to do the same thing against Illinois. So keep an eye on that. The players to watch for Nebraska, Dylan Raiola gets everything started, and that has been the biggest key for them is what is Dylan Raiola capable of doing? We know that he's a talented quarterback. We know what he brings to the table in terms of potential, but can he turn that into production? So far, he's done a really good job. I think that he handled the Colorado game really well. He made some big time throws. There were obviously some concerns about some of the decisions he made, but we're also 3 games in. It's not going to be perfect right off the bat, but he is someone who is a tremendous talent that is going to have a big time impact on this game. 670 yards and 5 touchdowns so far for him. And obviously, everyone's digging on him for his Patrick Mahomes impression, all the things that he keeps doing. But make no mistake about it, this kid can play football, and that's really exciting if you're a Nebraska fan. The rushing attack has been a little bit better, I think, than anticipated. Dante Dowell has been a really good addition from the transfer portal from Oregon, and he is someone that has a big time impact. They're also pretty deep at the running back position. Feels like you're pretty good in pretty good hands, I should say, at that position where you don't have to worry too much, and that provides balance to this offense. Dylan Raiola is good. He's going to need the rushing attack to help him out. Same thing with the passing attack. He's going to need his wide receivers to help him out a little bit times. Now, Isaiah Nayor has been a huge addition for them at the wide receiver position. He has been the go-to guy so far, and he is someone that could have a big impact. Though this Illinois secondary is going to be definitely a challenge for this group. Tommy Hill, we talked about before, a very athletic cornerback for this Nebraska team, someone who's going to have his hands full, whether he's facing Pat Bryant, Sakari Franklin. He has a number of players that he must study this week, and it's going to be fun to see how he matches up with those guys. Marcus Buford kind of flies under the radar on that secondary. I'm curious to see how they'll utilize him both back deep in the passing game, but also how do you handle life near the line of scrimmage too. I think that they've done a good job in the past of utilizing him in multiple different areas. and he is someone to keep an eye on that's probably not being talked about a ton. The impact players for Illinois, it starts with Luke Altmaier. Luke Altmaier is having a really good game. The former Ole Miss transfer, I should say, having a good season. 647 yards and 6 touchdowns, like I mentioned before, no interceptions, has done a great job of taking care of the football, has made some really nice throws. Zachary Franklin has made some incredible catches so far this year. And that's something that's been really fun to watch, that connection there. Pat Bryant is someone that we talked about coming into this season. If you follow this channel for the offseason, you knew we were talking about Pat Bryant and what he's capable of doing. So far, he is delivering on that. The rushing attack is going to have to play a big role as well. Finding ways to establish the run as well as finding balance is going to be a key for this offense. I think Altmaier is really good, but if you're able to find that balance in the rushing attack as well, you're feeling like this offense can move the ball fairly efficiently against that Nebraska defense. Nebraska is very physical up front. They have some big bodies that are going to be tough to run against, and it's going to be on Illinois' offensive line to make that happen. The Scots on defense have been really the bright spots for this group, and this is a defense that has plenty of talent. When you look at the players they have coming back, you have plenty of players that are experienced and have plenty of ability, but it's the Scots that have put up that production combined for 5 interceptions so far this year. And now they're going to be able to help their team even more by picking off Dylan Raiola and finding ways to disrupt Nebraska's offense. That's going to be really fun to watch. This is a matchup that features two teams that are very excited about where they're headed. They have a ton of confidence. One of them obviously is going to get knocked down. The other one's going to continue on this run. Right now, it feels like Nebraska, even the line says it really, they're the better team. But you also thought that about what Kansas could do against Illinois, and the Illini found a way to upset them. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just saying keep an eye out for what the Illini can do. They continue to be a team that flies under the radar, and they're a really fun team to watch when they're playing together. And so far, they're playing really well. If they take care of the football, an upset is definitely possible, but this is going to be a fun game nonetheless.